Okay, so let me start to share my screen. Okay, so you guys can see my screen right now, right? Cool. So let's start our topic today. So this is our 5th day, I think. Yeah. So we talked about a lot of stuffs during our first 4 days. So we are going to talk about equations for day 5. And I think I can skip this part because I think most of you are already familiar with me. So we can move directly to today's topic, which is equations. So here are some basic components for equations. So the first one is indeterminates. As you can see that the x, right? So this is the indeterminate. And also you will need an equal sign to make it to be an equation, right? So let's try to figure out how to solve the equations. So if you remember, we talked about the polynomials. So what we are going to do firstly for a polynomial is to simplify it to its standard form. So actually you can see here, we got the left side as a polynomial and the right side as another polynomial. So we are going to separate the left side and the right side of this equal sign, and we are going to do them separately. So firstly, let's do the left side. So we are going to simplify to a standard form, right? So what we are going to do here would be, I got 1/5, and we put that x out of the parent phrase, right? And we got this 3 to 5, okay? And we got a -1, right? And which is equals to 1 to 10x. All right. Then we're going to trying to move the right side to the left side. So what we can get here would be this one and okay, that's it. So for this polynomial, we got only one indeterminate. So we can directly combine them together, which made it to be, let me see, we got 1/5 and 1/10. Minus it, that would be 1/10. And we got 3 to 5, and we got 1. So that would be okay. Right. That equals to be 0. So see, it's trying to move it this way, right? And as you can remember here, what we can do is to write it in this way so that we can crop them, right? So 5x is equal to 80. Right? So x is equal to, that will be 16. Yeah. Okay, so we solved the first one. So basically you can see that is how we do, how should we do step by step to solve the equations. All right, so this is a very simple one. Let's move on to our next one, which is about a system of linear equations. So as you can see the name here, which made it a system, that means you got more than one equations to make it a system. Right? Another stuff is because it is linear, so for each indeterminate, you got actually the powers should be to the power of 1. So that means it is a linear one. And you got at least for more than 2 indeterminates. That is the reason why you made it as a system. Okay, so let's try to see how should we solve this one. Okay, so if we're going to do this one, we are going to try to figure out some method. The first method we are going to introduce is the substitution method. So for the substitution method, you are going to substitute one of the indeterminates in terms of the other one. So for example, we got x and y here as our indeterminates. That means we can try to represent x in the form of y. So how should we do that? So let's mark it down as first one. This is the second one. So what we can do is trying to like make this one be simplified. So what we can do is to like multiply by 3 for both of the sides. So that would make it to be this form. Okay. And then we're going to put, you can see here, x is equal to this stuff, right? So we are going to use this polynomial to represent x. So let's try to put that into the 2. So if we are going to put it into our equation number 2, it will make it be, and yes, which is equal to -3. Okay, so right now what we're going to do is to simplify the left side of the polynomial. So we got this stuff here, right? And we are going to move this -3 from the right side to the left side. So we can do this quickly. And what we got is actually 3y plus 9 is equal to 0. That means 3y is equal to -9. So that means y should be equal to 3. Okay, if y is equal to 3, we can finally move to here, which made it x be -2 multiplied by 3 plus 3, that is -3. Okay, so what we can write down here as x is equal to -3 and y is equal to 3. Okay, so that is for our substitution method. Let's move on to see are there any other method that we can do to solve the system of linear equations. So our next one would be elimination method. So for elimination method, you should like take a close look of the system is there. Because you can notice that this one is totally different from our previous question. For our question 2, you can notice that there is, it looks like that there are no very significant thing that you can notice, right? But here you can see that, oh, for those equation number 1 and equation number 2, we got the left side as sum x plus sum y, and the right side are both numbers. So you can see there looks like very similar, right? So if that is the stuff, you can think about like, so for example, we got 7 and 6 on the right side. If we like write it down as 7 minus 6, which is equal to 1, right? So right now we know that there is something, a polynomial here, which is equal to 7. And this one, here we got another polynomial, which is equal to 6. So we can actually directly eliminate them. So what we can do is to write it down as equation number 2 minus equation number 1. So what we can get from here is 3x plus 4y, and we minus it to 2x plus 3y. And that is 1. So that is what we can do for this one, right? Okay, so if we are doing this way, we're again going to simplify the polynomials. So if we are going to simplify our polynomials here, we can get, let me see, we got 1x, oops, we got 1x left, and we got 7y, right? We got, no, not 7y, because this is within the parent brace, that is y. Okay. The final result we can get from this one, which is x plus y, 1. So right now what we can do is trying to represent
吃完罐头啦。 看你吃干净没有？过
Okay,
来，
and please mute yourself.
过来喝水啊！
Hello. Okay, all right. So, again, remember, please mute yourself during the
狗
recording.
狗，过来。
And let's write it down as x in the form of y. So that would be x is equal to 1 minus y. So then we can again do the same thing as we did for the question number 2. We're trying to put this form in terms of x into the where either of them works for this time. So let's try to say, like, making things to be easy. Let's try to put them into equation 1. So for equation 1, now we get 2 y minus y plus 3y is equal to 6. So that will be okay. And let me try to calculate it. So y should be equal to 4. Okay. So then if y is equal to 4, we can try to put it into the x. So x should be equal to 1 minus y, which is 4, which is equal to minus 3. Okay, so we can directly write it down as this form. Are we finished? Okay, so if you are like thought about that you have finished it, you can try to pause yourself, because you can think about you just put that 1 minus y into the first equation. You didn't check the second equation, right? So you need to make sure to verify your result works also for the second equation. So let's try to verify that. So verifying, what we can do is to try to put our results for both x and y into the second equation. So mark it down. This is the second one. So 4. So what is that? The minus 9 plus 16, which is equal to 7. So correct. So we finished this step of verify. That means our final result here is correct. Okay. So let's move on to some more complicated questions. Now, for these kind of complicated questions, you are going to think about that. So for example, here, you got the coefficient as these kind of really large numbers, right? So, wow, what you can do is to think about that. If I'm still going to use the substitution method, it'll be really complicated to do the operation. So you will think about the elimination method for this time. So you can see for this question, oh, it's cool because the right side are both numbers, and for the left side, you got some x plus some y. So it is pretty clear that you should use the elimination method for this time. So let's go into do this one together. If we are going to use the elimination method again, so we can see that the right side of equation number 2 is larger than the right side of the equation number 1. So what we can do is to write it down in this form, 2 minus 1. So that would be 2022x plus 2021y minus 2021x and 2022y, which is equal to 1, right? Okay, so let's try to put them out. We got this stuff of x here. This is the x, so that is 1x left, right? And then what about a y? Here is a y, here's another y, which is minus symbol, right? So that would be minus y. So yeah, we got it here for the left side, and this is the right side. So we can write x in terms of y, which is this form, right? Okay, now again, let's put them back into one of our equation. let's say probably put into the equation number 1. I'm always doing that for the first one because so that I can check it for the second one. Okay, so for number 1, let's write down as number 1. We got this form, which is equal to 6064. Okay, so let's try to separate them out, which we can make it as this one and this one, and which is equal to this stuff here. So let's add those y together. So for the y, we got actually that would be 4043, right? And for the right side, we're going to use the 6064 to minus 2021, which is equal to, so 4043. That means y is equal to 1. So if y is equal to 1, that means x would be 1 plus y, which is 2. Okay, so do we get any answer as x is equal to 2, y is equal to 1? We got C, right? So it looks like we are finished, but again, don't forget to verify it. And you can write down as the second one. So we are going to verify this, and which is equal to, and that will be so correct. Okay, so that is this one last step you need to do. You always need to verify it because you want to make sure that you don't make any mistake when you are doing the operations. Okay, now let's move on to the next question, question number 5. So for question number 5, actually you can see, so how many indeterminates here? 2, right? Of course, you are going to solve them, right? The first one is x and second one is y. But hold on, if you are going to like to do for the x and y, you're going to like make, you need to simplify the polynomials on the left side for both of the equations and also for the right side for both sides of the equations. That would be really time costly, right? So you also, again, you take a very close look to the equations here, and you find some paraphrase here. So for this stuff inside, which is x plus y. And for this paraphrase here, what inside is x minus y, right? So you can think about that. Okay, let me try to imagine that this side in this stuff inside the paraphrase will be a whole body. We take it as a single indeterminate. So now let's mark it down as 1 and 2. And let's trying to solve them. So for 1, let's try to say we got 3x plus y. So again, this is a whole body, right? We don't want to separate them out. And this is, right? And that is equal to minus 7. So this is our new equation number 1. So because this is our new equation number 1, we're going to erase them. Okay. For our equation number 2, let's say we got this stuff here. We don't need to do anything. We also don't need to change anything for this part. We want to move this stuff to the right side. This is our new equation number 2. Let's erase the old one. Okay. So now you can see that, okay, it looks in a very similar format. So what you can do is to, again, do this stuff, right? And what you can get from here is Parthenon, and you got 2, this paraphrase as whole body, which is equal to 2. So that means x plus y as a whole body is 1. So now you get how the relationship between x and y, and then you are going to represent x in form of y, right? Okay, so now let's try to do the similar stuff. Let's try to put this stuff back to the equation number 1. So for equation number 1, right now you've got 3, 1 minus y, and you got another y, and you get 2, which is also, you've got 1 minus y to represent x. This is minus y, okay, and this is minus 7. So actually, oops, you don't need them anymore. And oops, what happened? Okay, don't worry. And this is 3. This stuff inside would be a little bit hard to do, but let's try to follow them step by step. So this would be this stuff. Okay, so one more step to do it. So we got, cool. Almost down. So let's say we got 4y. This is 1, right? This is minus 7. So we move 1 to this side, and which turn it to be 4y, which is equal to minus 8. So y would be equal to minus 2. Oops. Okay. So now if we got our y, we can write it as x is equal to 1 minus 2. So that is 3. Okay, so we can write it down as this one and this one. Okay, and also don't forget to check whether you get this answer correctly. So again, let's try to verify it. So for the next one, we got 5, 3, and this is minus 2, got 2, x is 3, this is minus 2, would be in this form. So this would be minus 5, right? So correct. We verify it again, and we got it correctly again. So oh, okay, I see someone typed in the chat box, you can represent x plus y as z and x minus y as w. Removes confusion. Yes, of course, you can do it if you are more familiar with, you are more like comfortable to do so. So for me, personally, I can treat x plus y as a single stuff, but for if you are not so comfortable to do so, you can also represent x plus y in another letter. You pick it A, that's totally fine. You can also pick some other like M, W, whatever you want. So you can also like put in this way. This is also works. So it will be more easy for you to follow. But also remember, you got some new equations here, right? So don't forget to check them after you solve your equations. Okay, I think it's almost the time, but we still got some questions need to solve. So please hold on for some time and let's finish them together. So let's mark it down 1, 2, 3 here for this question. So the reason we are going to talk about this question is because you can notice that for equation number 1, you got x plus y, right? You got x and y as indeterminates. For equations 2, you got y and z. For equation number 3, you got x and b. Wow, you are thinking about. It seems that there is no equations that can combine all of the x and y and b together. So you're thinking that, okay, what I'm going to do is trying to create a new one, right? So, oh, I see someone is raising your hand. If you've got some questions, you can type that in the chat box so that I can see them, right? And if we want to talk, we can talk after we finish all the questions. Okay, let's move back to question number 6. So again, we're trying to think about how to. Oh, you want to answer this question? Yeah, you can type it to me, that's fine. But I'm also going to explain it to all other students left at the same time, okay? Okay, I see someone is typing their answer in the chat box. Yeah, thank you. But we're going to show you how to do it. So again, as I said, we need to like connect them together. So this would be the easiest way you can think about. So you plus them together. So that would be and you plus the right side together as well, which is okay. So you got x plus y plus z. This is 6066. Okay, so that you got this stuff should be equal to, oops, sorry, should be equal to 3033. Okay, so let's mark it down as this stuff here. Sorry, I need to rewrite my y here. Okay, so let's say this is our new equation, equation number 2. So now we got equation number, equation number 4. So now we can think about how equation number 4 connect with equation 1, 2, 3. So let's say if we want to figure out x, what we can do for this step is to try to use our new equation number 4 to minus our old equation number 2, right? We can write it down as this stuff. And this stuff, we know that, yes, only got x left. And for the right side, we got, okay, so this is for x. So we are going to do the same thing for y and z, right? So this is y. So we are going to pick someone that we can figure out where is the y. So we are going to use this one. So we can write it down as, then we got x, got b, which is y, right? And for the right side, we got, yeah, here. So that is our y. And the last one, ooh, we're almost done. So let's repeat is that, which is x plus y, and that will be z. And for the right side, we got this stuff. So this is our z. Okay, cool. So also don't forget to verify it. So you can verify it anyway. Okay, so I'm going to skip this verify step because time is almost up and we got one question left. Sorry guys. And also, let me check the chat box. Yeah, I see some of you got like different method, which is also good to do. Yeah, pretty good. Yeah, I'm going to pause for you. Cool. Let's challenge ourselves for this time. So for this time, after we finish our reading to these questions, we know that the question is asking that what is the average of A, B, and C? The average of A, B, and C should be written in this form, right? So this is the question asking about. If we want to figure out this, we need to know this stuff, right? Okay, so let's try to mark it down what our information doing here. So let's say we add them together. If we add them together, we got and right. So that is what we got for the left side. For the right side, that would be ooh, cool. So actually, we can try to do this stuff. the C, B, and A. And this stuff here would be equal to how many? 9, right? So, okay, let's try to move it to a kind of for a standard form. So we follow the sequence of these letters. That will be more clear for us. So this is 9. So we know that this is 9 and we need to know the average. So, and this would be the average. So let's try to divide them by 3. And it's 3, right? So that means B would be our answer today. Okay, so I think that's almost all for today's questions. And we know about something about our 2 very basic method. And I can see some of you are typing in the chat box about how you did the equations differently. So yes, of course, equations can be solved in different methods. It all depends on your like habits, your favors, which one you want to do firstly is totally fine. But just make sure that you are going to do which step, this step, okay? You need to verify them to make sure you are getting things correctly. Okay, so that's all for today, and I'm going to stop share and stop record.
Thank you.